Good afternoon, everybody. Happy Sunday. We are starting live at the waterhole here in Ngoma Private Game Reserve here in Tosha, over in Namibia. And we've started the show with a male lion that looked like he was being pretty lazy in the shade over there. A little bit of movement and activity. So really excited to start the show with this lion here over in Etosha. My name is Carrie Dupree, and I will be your naturalist presenter on the show this afternoon. And I'm really excited to see what is going to be bumbling about some of our locations here on Live at the Waterhole. Maybe, if we're lucky, we find some more lions. Maybe this male lion is not alone. Maybe he's got some very pretty lionesses close by, keeping him company. So if you'd like to join in the conversation, send through your questions and comments, please feel free. You can scan the QR code on screen now or head over to our Twitter or YouTube channels. And don't forget to use the hashtag at Wild Earth. Let me know how your Sunday is going, what you feel like seeing on safari today, some of your favorite sightings from the live locations. I've been offline for a while, so if you've got some special sightings from the locations from our last couple of days, please feel free to fill me in. Love to know what's been going on. I had a bit of a squiz on Facebook to see what's happening on Juma and all the excitement. Seems like there's been a lot of predator activity, lots of lions, lots of leopards. But yeah, really excited to see my first lions here in Nguma in Namibia. Penelope, thank you for your greetings. Thank you for joining us on this Sunday. What a lovely day to spend a Sunday enjoying this incredible view over Namibia. Although I must say, I'm rather delighted to be in South Africa, where temperatures are warm but not as hot as Namibia. And what do we have over here? Looks like some more kitty cats enjoying some slumber, seeking refuge in the shade of this acacia tree. We have 4 lionesses. What an epic way to start a Sunday afternoon. And it looks like these lovely ladies are really enjoying the shade. I must say, I think I'd probably be in the same position if I was in Namibia, close to water, in a nice shady spot, huddled under a tree. Mercedes Benz, welcome, welcome. Greetings. Thank you for joining us today on this sunny Sunday. Good to see that you are still watching the show with us. And Catherine, thank you for sending your greetings as well. I hope you have traveled safe, Catherine, and got back from your African adventures. And of course, looking forward to another adventure over in Africa, I hope. And definitely agree with you there, Catherine. What an awesome way to start the show today with a pride of lions. So it'll be interesting to see as the show kind of transpires what happens with these lions here. So male lion seems to be kind of a bit of a distance away from these lionesses. I don't know if they are together or if he's possibly trying to join this pride. Maybe there's a female that's in estrus or in season that he's trying to win favor of. But yeah, very exciting to spend some time with these lions. And as lions do, especially in the heat of the day, they don't move too much. So if we're lucky, maybe we'll have them for the entire show. Looks like we've got some wildebeest that have also come in to have an afternoon drink, and they know that the lions are there, so they are not impressed. You can see, obviously, the male that's leading this herd of wildebeest. He's very much aware that there are lions close by. So kind of be a bit skeptical, a bit nervous to come down to drink, especially if the lions are around. So they might go and drink at the opposite end of the watering hole, but they better watch out. The male lion is also close by. So Penelope, I agree with you here. This is definitely an amazing location for a camera here in Etosha. Kind of see some of these salt pans in the background there. Lovely view. This pan doesn't seem to have shrunk as quite drastically as I was expecting. So lovely to see some water in here. The wildebeest coming down for a drink, as well as our marabou storks that must be hanging around because the lions are here, hoping to pick up on some scraps, get a bit of a free meal. Which it is. I'm sure temperatures are skyrocketing in Namibia, probably heading to the mid and high 40s, creeping into the 50s. Yeah, not a, yeah, definitely a warm time of the year to be over in Namibia. So Cocoa Babies by Masak Malik. Amazing zoom. Thank you, Mr. Our Zoomy, for the day here at Nguma is definitely giving us a great view. Looks like we've just had a grey heron fly into the watering hole, and one of the lionesses moved from her slumber and has given the wildebeest a little bit of a fright. Maybe the male lion is moving over. Let's have a look, see. Let's have a scan. Nope. I'm still in the same spot. So again, it'll be quite interesting to see the interactions and kind of behavior that transpires between these lions. Because these wildebeest have a very good view on where the lions are. And again, there's probably not much water in this area, so they'll be a bit more confident to come down and drink as long as they know the lionesses where they are and kind of. But I don't think they'll hang around here for too long. Might become lunch. So, Charlotte Jackson, thank you for sending through your questions and joining us today. So, my most epic lion sighting. Ooh, it's going to be a difficult one. I've had a lot of really good lion sightings recently. And I mean, of course, this year, great lion sightings over in Juma. But I think, yeah, recently I had a pretty good lion sighting about 2 weeks ago. Shucks, we had 15 lions all lying in puddles, almost looks like a puddle of line underneath three shady trees and on termite mounds. And oh, it was really epic watching the little ones, youngsters, playing with the adults, and the kind of lazy in the heat of the day. And last thing you want is baby lions playing with you and trying to, yeah, get you all excited and play. So yeah, I had some really cute cub interactions with one another, and of course with the adults in the group. And there was a big male lion with them as well. And yeah, the little babies were going to play with the male and kind of pulling his armpit hair and kind of playing with his tail, and he was not impressed. So yeah, it was really epic to watch these little baby lions playing, having a great time. So I'd love to hear what some of our viewers' favorite lion sightings have been. I'm sure a lot of you either live in Africa or have traveled to Africa. So I'd love to know which country and what was your favorite lion sighting. So I'm going to go with, yeah, I've had some really great lion sightings over in Nwangi National Park recently. That's going to be my vote. And also to see such a large pride of lions, 15 lions, and very interesting to see so many together, lots of different age groups. There's about 9 adult females with a bunch of sub-adults as well as a few orphaned individuals. Unfortunately, their mother got killed by a buffalo, so this does happen quite often when lions are hunting for buffalo or bigger game. You stand the chance of being killed. But yeah, so this group had 2 little orphans that had been adopted into the pride. Epic to watch them. Oh, look at these lions. How awesome is it to start the show with lions? What a surprise. So it's quite interesting how these lionesses are all lying quite closely huddled around the tree. There's a lot of rocks in this area, so you can see obviously closer to the tree is somewhere that a lot of animals have spent time, possibly cleared and opened the area quite a lot. So it's nice, quite nice and smooth around the base of that acacia tree. So yeah, definitely could be a reason for them lying so close by. Whoop! Check at these wildebeest. They all know. They're all looking at the lions like, we know you're there. There's going to be no stalking up on these wildebeest today. So yeah, that could be why these lions are lying so closely up underneath this tree. Could be to absorb as much kind of coolness from the tree as possible, but also, yeah, just trying to get a nice kind of flat open area that's really nice and cool and shady. So currently, as of 2023, the population of lions within Namibia was just over about 700 individuals. The kind of top areas, places in Namibia that you can go to see lions. Besides, mostly in Etosha is a great place, but apparently in Honib Skeleton Coast Camp, near the Skeleton Coast region, you can also see lions. But yeah, Nguma is also a great place to see lions, or Nguma Forest Camp apparently have amazing sightings of these lions within the region. So yeah, great to see lion populations are doing well in Namibia. About 6 months ago in Nguma Safari Camp, they had some little baby lions that were kind of had roaming around a lot, and yeah, seemed to be quite a successful breeding pride of lions in Nguma Safari Camp, which is not too far from this location. So, not seeing any cubs with these lionesses. Um, but yeah, I'm sure there are a lot of lions within this region. Come down, perfect place for them to have a rest down at this watering hole. They do refer to these lions in Namibia as desert lions, although to me they look very much similar and, of course, the same gene pool as our lions in southern Africa. I do think because of the heat, they do generally have a little bit of a darker coloration, but not much difference between our lions in southern Africa. I did see lions in Namibia earlier this year, and again, very beautiful, good condition, lots of game for them to feed on. And as you can see with these lionesses, they do look like they are in quite good condition. Rosie Adams, hello and welcome to the watering hole. Thank you for joining us and waking up so early to be with us today. Catherine, thank you for sharing one of your favorite lion sightings, Birmingham lionesses at Ngala. I know you love those lions over in Ngala, Catherine. So, and you have definitely got some amazing pictures of those lions there. So, yeah, I'd love to meet the Ngala lions in South Africa sometime. Uh, Beautiful lions. I know they also have those white lions over in South Africa at Ngala. Oop. Male lion is moving around a little bit. Joel Gruel, welcome, welcome. Thank you for joining us. A great day to be on live at the waterhole with these lions. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Rosie Adams, yeah, Cedric has had some great luck with the lions, and actually, I think the Inkahumas have recently made a kill. Seems like they made a kill of a buffalo. Those Inkahuma lions, so they've been munching away. Oh, shame, this poor lioness, male lion, you can see he's panting, trying to kind of cool himself down. Really love to see a kill today. That would be really awesome, I must say. but unfortunately, these lions do not have the element of surprise anymore because, yeah, I think every antelope or living creature within quite a few kilometer radius knows that they are here. What a lovely view. If you didn't know that lion was there, you could just look like a termite mound blending in. It's definitely loving the interaction that we just had just now with the marabous and those wildebeest. They're, again, a little bit skeptical to come down to drink. I think I would be too. Some lionesses lying around. We also have some springbok also hanging about. Shame. They're desperate for a chance to come for a drink. Yeah, so James Henry had some great sightings of the Nkuhuma males. So awesome to see them feeding on a buffalo over in Juma. Tlalamba and her little cub have also been seen. Oh, was it this morning with Cedric walking down the road? Oh, that little cub of Tlalamba's adorable. So apparently Tlalamba and her little cub have been making quite the appearance on Juma the last couple of days. She had a pretty cool encounter. Watched Tlalamba stalking and making a kill of an impala, I think it was, and yeah, managed to drag it up a tree, but unfortunately, don't think it was a big enough tree, and ended up yeah, losing her kill to the hyenas. So lots of activity there on Juma. um, yeah, leopards, lions, and yeah, why don't we just enjoy the sounds here and try here? We can see if we can hear this lioness lapping up some water. It might be a bit far, but let's just enjoy this view while we have the opportunity. While we're having a quiet moment, we've got a good question from a Tess. Thank you for asking us if we can hear any alarm calls, possibly from the impala or springbok, maybe from the wildebeest giving a bit of a snort here and there. Let's listen and see if you can hear any sounds, any alarm calls of the animals of the bush. Can hear those alarm calls of the wildebeest there snorting away. Carry for quite a few hundred meters in some cases, or any other animals in the area, any antelope in the area, will definitely be hearing these alarm calls. I'm not hearing the springbok making much noise, but it's definitely wildebeest, the blue wildebeest, giving alarm call there, warning everyone else in the area that there are predators nearby. So thank you for everyone who sent through your stories of your favorite lion encounters. So Rosie Adams apparently had a great sighting with two huge males and Cedric a couple of days ago. Could have been the Inkohuma males that you saw. I see they have been on the kind of on the spectrum quite a bit. They've been around Juma. Could be the Inkohumas. Charlotte Jackson apparently had a really cool sighting as well of 15 Inkohuma lions on a buffalo kill at sunset on Torchwood. So yeah, awesome to watch lions on a kill. Sometimes interactions and yeah, lots of squabbling and fighting. I had at Mabula, yeah, we had the Pride of Lions there, also on a kill, a zebra kill, and I must say there was a lot of whinging, moaning, and complaining. So the youngsters were constantly trying to steal food from the adults, and the poor lionesses, they were not very impressed with this. They didn't get much chance to eat, so there was a lot of family politics, I call it. Lots of snarling, groaning, and moaning coming from those lions. So yeah, always awesome to watch hyenas at a kill. Penelope Kenyon apparently had an incredible sighting with a dark mane as well as a blondie and mohawk, kind of having an interaction there. I'm sure there was a lot of fighting and going on with those three males when they met up. It's just interesting to listen to the sound of nature sometimes while we're hearing these alarm calls of these wildebeest. You can also hear those cicadas or Christmas beetles starting to hum away, alerting us of the kind of dry season and also the coming of Christmas time. So Rosie Adams, apparently the sighting that you had the other day of those two male lions are two new males that are on Juma. The Mantimale males. Sorry if I'm mis. Mat, mat, sorry, this name is a yeah, it's a bit of a tongue twister. Mahle Male, I think it might be some Mahle Male males, which are two new male lions on Juma. Look quite ferocious, I must say. They look like they've been in a fight or two. Yeah, definitely have that very aggressive looking stare or glare that I would not want to mess with those male lions. Let's listen and see if we can hear any birds while we're enjoying these alarm calls of the wildebeest. We don't often get to spend time with lions on live at the waterhole, so really going to enjoy the sighting and take it in as much as possible. Again, I think the chances of a kill pretty slim, but it's pretty interesting to see the kind of predator-prey interaction when a prey species already knows that the predators are around. So let's just enjoy this epic sighting, see if we can hear any birds. I think I heard some buffalo weavers. um, See if we can hear any other animals' alarm calling besides the wildebeest. Enjoy those sounds of the cicadas as we imagine being in the Namibia heat. Absolutely cooking. So, Tess, very good question there about how long these wildebeest will alarm call for. So, again, as long as the lions are around and the poor wildebeest want to come down for a drink, they'll most likely continue alarm calling. Um, yeah, as long as they're in the area. Once they've had a bit of a drink and moved off, obviously they might not find it necessary to alarm call, but I'm sure they will still be warning any other antelope in the area that the lions are definitely near. But their bellies do look pretty full, these lionesses, and same as the male lions. I must say, I don't think they are looking to eat anytime soon. They've probably had a meal within the last 24 hours or so, and yeah, just kind of digesting their food. It is also a Sunday, so it's one of those like lazy Sundays as well for these lions. So they're lucky they've feasted recently and they can kind of just enjoy themselves and cool off in this afternoon's lovely shade. So I'm just reading up a little bit about these kind of lions, the desert lions. So there is a project called the Desert Lion Conservation Project that is a non-profit organization in Namibia which is dedicated to conserving the habitat and of course kind of yeah, the lions and population of these desert lions. So these lions are obviously very well adapted to living in northern Namibia, and even in regions like the Skeleton Coast, which I must say there's not much wildlife in Skeleton Coast. So yeah, these lions are definitely well developed to moving in very hot temperatures as well as feeding and hunting and surviving in very remote arid areas. So yeah, it is a biological adaptation in order to survive in these harsh environments. Um, yeah, amazing to have organizations like this that actually do try to help and protect these lions within these very arid regions. So obviously in very desert regions like this, buffalo might be a bit difficult for the lions to come by. So yeah, within Namibia, kind of a staple diet for these lions to survive on would be, besides wildebeest, your gemsbok. Ostrich is also a very easy meal for these lions to kind of feed on. I know I've seen a lot of wildlife documentaries and a lot of photos of leopard also hunting the ostriches. So yeah, very easy meal for a lion is an ostrich. And in some regions, apparently the lions have even been recorded to capture seals along the Skeleton Coast. So yeah, they can manage to make it all that way. Lots of seals there to be killed and hunted. Another easy meal for these lions in Namibia. So just a little bit of information. We were chatting earlier. Penelope Kenyon, you mentioned one of your favorite sightings of the dark mane was dark mane, blondie, and mohawk. So just a bit of an update on these individuals after they met up. So they were very popular on the show, and they're three brothers. And of course, at some stage they did the split up for a period of time, which is kind of natural within a male lion's lifespan to kind of go out on his own, join up with some other males. Obviously, yeah, depending on hierarchy and kind of rank of the males and the age group will hopefully determine which individuals they can join. But yeah, apparently Darkmane did go off on his own, and Blondie and Mohawk kind of hung out together for quite some time. Um, Unfortunately, Darkmane has he's since passed. Um, he was in a big fight, so Darkmane is no longer with us. So all that is left at the moment is Mohawk, and he does generally move around with his youngsters. Um, yeah, the one Darkmane male as well as the Inkahuma females. So yeah, that's kind of new coalition that has been formed. Um, and this coalition of the Nkahumas do also hang out with the Kambulas as well as the two new males that have been seen on Chuma. So yeah, interesting to follow these family groups at Juma and on Wild Earth. I think it's very fascinating how much we've learnt about wild animals, as well as obviously all these very popular characters: lions, hyenas, leopards, of course the wild dogs. We learn so much by being able to follow them on a daily basis, understand their family structure a bit better, and as well learn a lot about kind of the dynamics of wildlife and the different kinds of interactions. So, just to answer a few of your questions here, I see a lot of questions coming through. So, thank you for sending those questions through just to keep me busy and entertained. So, VC, apparently the wildebeest alarm call. Impala's alarm call is quite a bit deeper in sound than the wildebeest. But yeah, I don't see any impala around today. We had some springbok and just our wildebeest that were there. So, yeah, it would be awesome to hear the alarm call of an impala. But, no impala around today. And VC, I agree with you there. These lions definitely are enjoying their Sunday siesta. They definitely found a great spot. Oh, I love it when the lionesses kind of bond and interact with each other like that. It's like a greeting or kind of just like a very nice way to say hello. I'm coming to lie next to you, I hope you don't mind. Oh, lovely. You can see they're obviously very close. Could be sisters, these lionesses. Very tight knit bonds that are formed between prides of lions. So Starbuck, thanks for the question. So Starbuck is asking about animal alarm calls. So different species and different species of antelope will often have different kinds of alarm calls. They're very attuned and accustomed to hearing each other's alarm calls. So it's the same kind of system as how you get the baby antelope that will imprint on their mothers by, going and spending some time away from the herd for a time to learn their mother's smell and sounds and scent. And yeah, that's kind of how different antelope species know each other's different calls and alarm calls. It's a form of a form of verbal communication between animals, same as different predators also have different alarm calls, different sounds, different contact calls. So, very interesting. I recently heard a male cheetah, making a very interesting contact call looking for his mother. So, very, very cool to be able to hear these different alarm calls of different antelope. So Bundu, apparently yes, lions do hunt seals on the Skeleton Coast. Again, a seal is not the most difficult prey species to hunt, but that would be pretty epic. Obviously, the brown hyena are more famous for hunting lions on the Skeleton Coast. Yeah, of course, a sight everyone wishes to see. But yeah, I didn't think you'd get lions hunting seals on the Skeleton Coast. That would definitely make for an epic sighting. So, Anne Clinksdale, thank you for joining us as well. It definitely is a beautiful area and a great way to spend a Sunday, I think. Yeah, just enjoying live at the waterhole with these lions here. Shame the poor wildebeest, they just want to come down for a bit of a drink. They're a bit cautious of all this lion activity. Charlotte Jackson, I do agree with you. These lions over in Nguma in Tosha are in very good condition. I do think these kind of don't have much to worry about, although you can see they're kind of congregating in bigger numbers, desperately trying to come down for a drink. You can never trust a lion, even if they have full bellies. They are still very opportunistic. So these poor wildebeest might have to wait a bit for the lions to move off before they can have a bit of a drink. Still hear them alarm calling there. So, Spas Inkov, thank you for joining us today. I know you sent some cool updates on, some awesome information on Live at the Waterhole. So, thank you for sharing that info with me. Nope, you have not missed anything. We've just been on the show for just over half an hour, and still sitting here with our lion. So, we've got a big male lion just to the left, a little acacia tree behind a termite mound where there's a big male lion just chilling in the shade. And of course, we have our 4 lionesses also hanging out at this pan today. So, really great way to start a Sunday. Lots of activity. Poor wildebeest want to come in for a drink, but I'm a little bit nervous because the lions seem to be moving every now and then, coming up for a drink as well. Penelope, yep, I agree with you there. Those wildebeest are getting a bit brave. Every now and then they're trying to come a bit closer for a drink, but I think it's when the lions keep moving. Get a bit of a fright. Right, well, it doesn't seem like our lions are going to be moving anywhere, folks. We're still going to keep an eye on them, don't worry. Maybe if we catch them having a kill later would be epic. But in the meantime, why don't we go and check out one of our other locations and see what else we can get on Live at the Waterhole today. Welcome to Juma, everyone. Oh, it has been a while since I have seen anything from Juma, so great to see some elephants here. Looks like we got a little baby elephant having a bit of a suckle. So yeah, very, very cute, I must say. They look pretty covered in mud. They probably had a really nice mud bath. I know some parts of South Africa have experienced some rainfall within the last week or so. Juma is definitely looking a little bit more green, I must say, which is delightful to see it changing color because this dry season has been a bit of a rough time for everyone. It's been rather dry. It looks like there's still a little bit of water on the Juma main dam at Juma. All come from. So yeah, apparently Gowrie Dam does not have much water in the dam there. It sounds rather loud, I must say. It must be very, very windy. Hopefully building up to some rain, but that sounds like quite a lot of wind. And really cool to see these little baby elephants. Looks like a little family group, a herd, coming to feed on some nice fresh green grass down by the dam. So yeah, lots of baby elephants popping out this time of year. It is rather strange. Obviously, I've been on safari in Zimbabwe, and lots of little elephants popping out, which I really hope and pray that they manage to make it until the rains arrive. It's a very hard time for a lot of animals at the moment. It's very dry, not much water, not much food. So, especially like with the elephants, they need to cover quite a large distance in order to get enough food. So, I hope these little babies are managing to all keep up and all the baby elephants make it through this hard, dry season. Isn't this guy so cute? Oh, what a cutie pie, covered in mud. Obviously, it's a warm day in Juma. The baby elephant is having the best time. Oh, look at him. So see how those elephants kind of use their trunks to manipulate vegetation in order to feed. Right, it's a bit windy here in Juma, folks, so we might link across over to Tembe Elephant Park shortly just to get a bit of a better feed. Although it is really adorable watching these little baby elephants feeding. Oh my goodness. Welcome to Timber Elephant Park, everybody. Yes, Rosie Adams, it is me, Carrie Dupree, speaking to you today. I am delighted to be able to be back with you live at the waterhole. It is a lovely sunny siesta Sunday. We had our lions over in Ngoma in Namibia, which we're keeping a close eye on. But in the meantime, we're checking out some of our other locations to see what's happening. Those baby elephants over in Juma were absolutely adorable to watch, almost like playing around and down on their haunches trying to feed from the grass. But lovely to see that it's still nice and green here in Tembe. We've got some elephants, nice big elephant bulls, also seeking refuge in the shade. These lovely acacia trees. Sure, hopefully they have a pool party, would be pretty cool. We've got our floppy-eared elephant friend just in the background there to the right. We seem to see him here quite often. We also have our impala, and I think there's two Inyala there, our young male Inyala, female, being groomed by some oxpeckers in the shade. So they're having a lovely spa day, just relaxing in the shade, enjoying this lovely Sunday afternoon. So just answer a few of your questions. So Sanjeev, yes, the lack of rains this year have definitely affected a lot of areas. Very, very dry, I must say. So we are very desperate for rains in southern Africa. You can see these impala. Some of them are also quite pregnant, desperately waiting to drop their lambs as soon as the rains arrive. So yeah, hoping to have some good rains over in Zimbabwe and kind of coming into South Africa. Some regions have been experiencing a lot of wind and a little bit of rain, which apparently is quite normal for October. It's kind of like, oh, look at this elephant bull scratching his eye. He's tired. Apparently, it's quite normal to experience quite a lot of wind before the rains in October. A small rainfall, kind of scattered showers within some regions before the large rains arrive in November, December. So yeah, we're crossing our fingers that the rains will come and everything will turn green again. Oh, I can hear some European bee eaters flying above. Have a quick listen. So again, a lot of these migratory birds like the bee eaters, European bee eaters, our carmine bee eaters, some swallows as well, are very good indicators of the rains. I love it when you start seeing these migratory birds coming through. They're kind of like a very good indicator that the rains are on their way. Recently, I also learned about termites. So termites and insects can also be a very good indicator of rains coming. So obviously, when the rains are about to arrive, a lot of termite activity will start kind of happening on a lot of the termite mounds. They'll be doing a lot of maintenance, fixing up all the holes in preparation for the rains arriving. So yeah, quite cool to see this actually happening. So if you ever see termites busy building away at the termite mounds, lots of fresh kind of building and fresh mud that they have used to build their termite mounds, you know that the rains are probably close by. Interesting how we can use all these kind of signs from nature to warn us of the rains. Penelope, I believe you are having some hot weather in KZN. I can only imagine that humidity in KwaZulu-Natal must be rather rife. Um, welcoming the rains. Ooh. So white-faced whistling ducks calling. So Spas Carve, thanks for your question about Nyala. So we do actually see a Nyala quite often here in Tembe. So it is a kind of a common antelope species to be seen around Tembe. Obviously, there's perfect habitat for the Nyala here in Tembe. There's lots of thickets, riverine areas, and of course, yeah, it's a perfect area for these Nyala to hang out. We often see them coming down to the watering hole here. Oh, shucks, I've even seen once before, I think I saw a small herd of 10, 12, 13 individuals all down at the watering hole. And the young male Inyalas start kind of, their horns start erupting from their skull, generally at about the age of about a year. That Nyala we saw there earlier, he was probably about 3 to 4 years of age. So yeah, definitely do see. There we go. There he is. So, hasn't quite transitioned into his full adult black coloration yet, so of course all love a nice mature male Inyala. That pitch black coloration that he has, the white dorsal stripes, and of course his very fluffy kind of crest that does form on his neck as well. So yeah, he's still a youngster. He's still got quite a way to go. So I'll probably give him another 2 to 3 years before his horns have reached a decent length. And generally, at about the ages of 5 to 6 years of age, that's when the male nyalas start transitioning into that lovely pitch black adult coloration. So you can see he is with a female there, or two females, three females. You can see they do blend in really well with the impala, nyala. And we've also got an African jacana on the other bank there. There's lots happening today, shucks. So it surely is a busy day at some of our locations today. So you will find Nyala do communally feed with a lot of other antelope species. I've seen them communally feeding with impala and wildebeest at times. So yeah, they kind of do interlink and share habitats with a lot of different antelope species. I've even seen, I think, kudu as well. I've also seen Nyala feeding in the same area as kudu. Tembe has been great, a great location this dry season in that I think they seem to have experienced some sporadic late rains, which gave them a lovely flush of greenery. So it's been quite a nice green location. I love it. I don't think this is the white-faced whistling duck vocalizing. There's definitely a pair here, and there could be another pair in the other pan, just on the other side. Generally, the white-faced whistling ducks are in pairs. At this time of year, they will be kind of congregating into bigger groups. Lots of very happy sound that these white-faced whistling ducks make. Always reminds me of kind of the Zambezi River. Get a lot of white-faced whistling ducks along the Zambezi River as well as inland water sources. They do need to have quite a substantial water source in order to kind of reside in an area for longer periods. Okavango Delta is also a great place to see big flocks of white-faced whistling ducks. Fuzzy Dunlop, thank you for watching the show as well. I hope that you will enjoy the sightings that we have today for you. And Mr. Nick Power 04. So are there any creatures in the water to be eaten, like burrowing bugs or worms. So yeah, we do get a lot of kind of crustaceans, smaller crustaceans in pans and watering holes like this. You do get a lot of larvae, so a lot of larvae from dragonflies, and of course nymphs. You get a lot of different stages of your insects that will be in these water sources, which will be fed on by a lot of the aquatic life. A lot of aquatic, very healthy aquatic ecosystem here, which is why it's so busy. Lots of birds. This grey heron here. Maybe we'll see him hunting for a fish. And this side of the pan is generally this side of the watering hole is one of the popular places the elephants like to come for a swim. Have a little elephant pool party. VC seemed to be quite a lot of interest today over that male Nyala that's kind of in a transient phase. Still kind of got a bit of a lightish grey coloration to him. So yeah, I have seen quite a lot of these younger males. For me, it's more rare to see the adult males. That might just be some of the regions in which I've guided within. I know obviously in Juma, the Inyala population is very healthy there. So you do see a lot of Inyalas, adult males, juveniles. Oh, isn't that just one of the most awesome sounds in the world? It's probably one of my favorite bird calls. Always reminds me of ah, wildlife, birding, water. And although it is looking lovely and green over in Tembe, I'm sure they're still experiencing some high temperatures, so elephants still gonna have a good old mud bath. Just like in Juma, those elephants over in Juma look like they had a great time, full of mud, not a worry in the world. There's our male Nyala again. Our rattling cisticola, the emerald spotted wood dove also calling. Himbe is thriving with life. Love to hear that little bee eater calling as well. I have seen my first carmine bee eater for the season over in Zimbabwe. That was pretty cool. Also a very good sign that the rains are on their way. Whoop. Let's have our Egyptian geese. Shucks, I didn't even see them hiding there behind our big elephant bull. Yeah, there's generally one or two pairs of Egyptian geese that normally hang out here at Tembe around. And if you look close enough across the screen, I've seen our little bee eater flitting across here very quickly. Could be busy hunting. See a bit of a flash of yellow and green. So I must say, as I know a lot of the animals have been looking forward to the rainy season, but I know a lot of guides, and obviously, a lot of people in the bush also desperate for some cool weather because, shucks, some temperatures have been skyrocketing. It has been really hot in the last couple of weeks. Even in Johannesburg today, I think weather's it's a bit warm, 35, 38 degrees. Yeah, and I must say I am dying for that first rain smell. I don't know if anyone else also enjoys smelling that first rain of the season. Ah, I think it is probably one of my most favorite smells in the whole world. That smell of water touching the earth that has been dry for months and months. Oh, what a lovely smell it is. So elephants are actually also a very good indicator of rains coming. So we've spoken about elephants and how they are kind of a lot of communication. They get to the ground. They've got these very sensitive feet that are very sensitive to kind of seismic infrasound communication and vibrations through the earth. And they can actually feel when there's thunder and lightning around. I've seen elephants completely vanish out of an area because they knew the rains were coming. And yeah, elephants don't like being in kind of flat open areas when it rains. Chances of them getting struck by lightning are pretty high. So yeah, um, definitely experienced a lot of days when you're sitting at a watering hole and it looks sunny, blue skies, and next thing the elephants just disappear, and you wonder to yourself, what on earth? It's like they all kind of get the telegram that there's a storm approaching, and within half an hour, 20 minutes, huge storm arrives out of completely nowhere. And then, yeah, you wished you'd also taken off with the elephants because then you get completely dumped on by the rain. So one of my favorite memories of elephants in the rain has got to be probably in West Africa, watching elephants feeding in a bay, an open area, drinking water and minerals, with thunder and lightning all around them. Again, as soon as the rain started to kind of bucket down, they did take off, but you could kind of see the silhouettes of the elephants when the lightning struck close by. You see these dark elephant silhouettes. Of course, the poor elephants got such a fright and just took off. You hear those masked weavers. I know they've been busy building their nests up in a few of the trees around this pond here. You can hear them calling in the background. Saw a hardy-da ibis also vocalizing. And of course, our white-faced whistling duck is busy. There we go. This is the tree where our master weavers have been building their nests. What busy little birds. My goodness. They never stop. Those males have lots of work to do to impress the females with their nest. Yeah, those European bee eaters again. It'd be pretty cool to see them on screen, I must say. All right, folks. Well, why don't we, before heading back to our lions, let's go have a look at Old Donyo, see what's happening there, see if we've got any visitors at the watering hole. Welcome to Old Donyo, Kenya, everyone. Looks like we've got a giraffe here for his close-up. See him breathing. Shucks, he's pretty close, must say. What a beautiful view over in Aldania. We've got two male giraffes. One giraffe looks like he wants to have a drink, and the other giraffe is using the bathroom. Possibly already had his drink of water. Lovely cloud formations forming over in Aldania. Must be also building up for some rain. These are very good indicators. We're very much talking a lot today about rains, the rainy season coming, indications of rain, of obviously cloud formations like these cumulonimbus clouds. The darker and grayer they get, the best, kind of the better. Yeah, it's a very good indicator that the rains are forming. So you'll get like these, yeah, more sheeted clouds, a lot of cirrus clouds slowly building up into these giant cumulonimbus clouds, which eventually kind of completely take over the sky and bring in the rains as well as the humidity. I was talking to some friends earlier about Victoria Falls and how you beg for rain in Victoria Falls. So obviously, humidity level in Vic Falls is quite high in Victoria Falls, Zimbabwe. Humidity can reach 65 to 70%, and if you're hitting 38 to 40 degrees, it's pretty warm, I must say. Beg for the rain, and then as soon as the rain comes, it goes back to being hot and humid again. So I enjoy climates where it's cool after the rains, nice and hot, but also not scorching and humid after. So, yeah, maybe Kenya will also experience some rain sometime soon. Those clouds are a very good sign. And this male giraffe is super lucky he doesn't have any oxpeckers bothering him. Shame. I do have seen over in Oldonyo a lot of the giraffe when they go down to drink, they have lots of oxpeckers, giving them a real hard time when they bend over to have a drink like this. Sometimes almost making it impossible for them to drink anything. This male giraffe's definitely rather thirsty. So these two male giraffes seem to be pretty friendly with one another, but it is always pretty awesome to watch giraffe necking or fighting in a battle, a duel of dominance between one another. But, I almost use those heads of theirs as sledgehammers to battle each other in order to assert their dominance or to gain mating rights. Of course, the winner will get access to the females. See any wattled starlings here? It would be quite cool to see some wattled starlings come in for a drink, or maybe our secretary bird. I haven't seen wonton for a while. The big elephant wonton would be pretty cool to see him come down for a bit of a drink at the watering hole. But yeah, Aldonyo can be a very busy location when it comes to a variety of different species. It's very rare for me to have seen an area with such an array of species coming down to one watering hole to drink. I've once seen 7 different animal species drinking at this watering hole. Seems to be a bit quiet today. Might be the midday rush. Hopefully. Oh, there's our giraffe. Guessing the midday rush has kind of ended, and that would be a great time for the zebra to come down for a drink, because a couple of elephant bulls come down to this watering hole. It doesn't leave much space for anyone else to drink. Alrighty, folks. Doesn't seem like we have too much activity here in Aldonyo. Why don't we head back to Ngoma in Namibia, see what's happening with those lions. Alrighty. Looks like our lions have not moved much. If you're just joining us on the show, we started the show today with a beautiful big male lion just to the left of the screen underneath an acacia tree there. There's kind of a termite mound with a fallen over acacia tree. We've got one male lion sitting under the tree there, and then to our right, underneath this acacia tree, right close to the water, we have 4 lionesses. The poor wildebeest and springbok have been dying to come for a drink, but they've been kind of alarm calling, a little bit nervous, a little bit skeptical to come down. So yeah, a great way to start the show today, and lovely to see that they are still lying around, having a Sunday siesta. So if we're lucky, maybe we might get a bit of a kill, although these lions do all look quite plump, quite full. Those bellies are definitely full. So they've probably made a kill in the last 24 hours. I don't think they're going to be too hungry, but so lovely to see these lions here in Nguma, just hanging around this watering hole. Of course, causing a bit of traffic and congestion because all the poor antelope are a bit nervous to come down for a feed. So apparently these lions over Namibia do have quite extraordinary... Let's see what's happened there. What's happened? The lions must have moved and given everything a bit of a fight again. So those poor lionesses, every time they move, all the antelope kind of take off, wait around for a bit, try to sneak into the watering hole, have another drink, and then one of them moves. You have to be very careful. Don't trust these kitty cats. There we go. Well, they don't look like they've moved much since we last left them. Beautiful lionesses in great condition. Look at those full bellies panting away. Yeah, so apparently these lions over in Namibia, the desert lions, do have massive home ranges, and some individuals will roam across thousands of square kilometers to find food and water, which does not surprise me. I mean, we can see this landscape pretty well. You can see it's very dry, very arid, got a lot of salt pans in Namibia, and not much food, not much water. So, yeah, it's kind of all contributes to these lions having very big home ranges, a lot larger than in most regions. And of course, these lions do stay within their defined territories, so they have adapted their feeding, their hunting, their movements in order to survive for longer periods without food. And in some coastal regions, I mean, I don't to see a lion on the beach. Wow, quite an unusual sighting, I definitely think. So they will adapt in the coastal regions along the Ivory Coast. If they don't find seals, they will also adapt to feeding on sea birds as well. You can see the salt pans in the distance there. So you can see it's kind of like a bit of a mirage, very hot out in the open. So, I mean, Etosha is filled with these very large and famous salt pans, which covers over 4,800 square kilometers of vast, flat expanses. So it's a very large area, and it can be visible for very, very long distances. And, of course, from the air, you just see these very large, white, open places. And I mean, the Etosha National Park, that's where it gets its name from, which means the Great White Place in the Ovambo language. So, it's famous salt plans of Etosha. So these salt pans were formed millions of years ago. It could be likely as an ancient lake which was fed by the Canoe River. And geographically, there was a shift which diverted the river, leaving the lake to dry up gradually and transform into these massive salt pans, which we see today. Oh, we've got a giraffe there. Hello, Mr. Giraffe. Looks like he's also coming down for a bit of a drink. This crazy landscape. It's amazing to think that there's actually creatures that live there. So I'd love to see barking geckos. I don't know if anyone has ever been to Namibia and seen the barking geckos in Namibia. I did hear them while making my way to the Skeleton Coast. We stayed in some desert camp, did hear the barking geckos, and I did try for quite a few hours to see them, but they're very shy, very elusive, just like this giraffe is being right now. Understandably so, with 5 lions around. So Quentin, yeah, we were just talking about the lions and the chances of them actually making a hunt in this time of the day, especially in the heat, is very slim. Especially because they do have full bellies. So I'm sure those lions did feed sometime within the last 24 hours. So yeah, generally the peak times that lions would feed is kind of at dusk, at dawn, throughout the night. And I know it is kind of a lot of people think that the predators don't necessarily hunt at full moon because they are a lot they're seen a lot easier by their prey species. But it's actually a myth that a lot of predators do actually hunt at full moon. So yeah, I don't think these lions will be needing to worry about hunting for the next 2 days or so. Although you do get larger groups of predators like wild dogs and lions and packs and prides of 20 to 30, lots of mouths to feed. You would need to definitely consider having to hunt every 2 to 3 days. But luckily, there seems to be a smaller pride, 5 individuals, so I don't think this male giraffe has much to worry about, although he still does look a bit skeptical. He's contemplating life, wondering if it's safe to come down to the watering hole for a drink. So, good question there. We got a question from Ian about the difference between desert lions and the bush lions. So, obviously, mostly the difference would be their kind of habitat. So, desert lions are normally found in the very arid regions of Namibia, partially in areas like the Skeleton Coast, the Kuni region in Namibia, where there is good food source as well as water. Whereas your lions, your bush lions, which we find in southern Africa, will typically inhabit savannas, grasslands, and woodland areas with more vegetation such as bush and thick areas for hunting and using concealment as a form of kind of uh, hunting strategy. So they use the concealment to hide themselves while trying to make a kill. Whereas in Etosha, there's not much chance of concealing themselves there. So these lions, definitely, desert lions, have had to adapt to being much more stealthy hunters in order to stalk up onto their prey. We were talking about home ranges just now. So obviously, desert lions will have a much larger home range than that of the bush lions. Home ranges can be anything between 20 miles or 30 to 32 kilometers, which they can move within a day to find food or water. Whereas I think those bush lions have much smaller one territories, but two travel less distance because they have more abundance and more access to food and water. Um, the desert lions are much more adapted to surviving on minimal water, whereas your bush lions can go very only a short period of time without water. So there's quite a big difference. Of course, social structure. There's a bit of difference within the social structure. The physical characteristics. Desert lions are often leaner and more muscular in order to handle the long distances that they might have to travel in order to find food and water, and slight behavioral adaptations as well. So, desert lions will be more active at night and obviously in early mornings, as we mentioned earlier, as opposed to the heat of the day. in order to capture their prey. So marabou storks also having a great time. So you often find a lot of kind of scavenging birds like marabou storks, vultures, even other predators like jackal will often follow your bigger predators like lions and leopards in order to, yeah, clean up the carcasses or kind of benefit from a kill. Had really cool sightings recently of marabou storks at a kill. So unfortunately, this time of year it is common for a lot of elephants to start dropping. Yeah, a lot of these sub-adults and babies just can't really make it through this long dry season. So you get lots of marabou storks, and vultures are having a great time. There's all-you-can-eat buffets all over the show. So yeah, definitely in good condition. As you can see, check out these marabous. They're obviously sunning themselves, cooling off in the heat of the day. So, Jamie, thanks for your question. So, giraffe do have an incredibly keen sense of sight, so they can see predators from a further distance. Um, and obviously, they do have a keen sense of smell, but I would definitely say their eyesight is yeah, a very good contributing factor to them being able to spot predators. And it's also pretty cool how they use visual forms of communication amongst each other. So you can often see on the back of a giraffe's ear will be these white patches, which really helps them to be able to see one another from a very far distance. Colin, yes, definitely would love to see some rain. Still rather dry at the moment, especially here in Namibia. You hear those cicadas, Christmas beetles humming away. Maybe we're lucky our giraffe friend will come down for a drink. So I was quite astounded when I found out that the average rainfall in Namibia is between 200 to 270 mils of rain, or 10 to 11 inches of rain for a whole year. Obviously, it does vary from region to region, but yeah, I found that pretty crazy when you think of some areas. I've experienced 260 mils of rain in West Africa in 48 hours, and that's an annual rainfall for some regions like Namibia. So obviously a lot of plants and all the animal species that do occur within Namibia are very well adapted to surviving with not much water. But it's crazy how low the rainfall is within some of these regions of Namibia. So obviously the Central Plateau and Etosha, which is more central parts of Namibia, including Windhoek and Etosha National Park, they might get slightly higher rainfalls, averaging 300 to 500 mils. But I believe their rainfall last year was only under 200 mils of rain. Check out these girls starting to move around a bit. You can see they're definitely panting away, indicating it's a rather hot day. I wonder what they're thinking. Are they thinking of getting up and moving? And of course, I'm very curious to know what the kind of social dynamics are between these four lionesses and the male lion just off to the side. If they were a bonded pride, he would be with them. So it's quite curious that he's off on his own. So he might be trying to test his luck and join this pride of females. Carol is asking if there's any possibility of these lions getting mobile. Carol, I wish I could say yes, but in this heat and with the way these lions seem to be panting quite profusely, I don't think they're going to be moving for quite some time. Although, if you do have time on the Sunday, I would definitely keep an eye out on the live at the waterhole. If you're not watching the sunset drive, maybe around sunset when it starts getting cooler, definitely keep an eye out. Maybe there'll be some activity. Maybe they'll move into a more kind of thick covered area and plan a kill or come for a drink or move off. This male lion hasn't moved much either. So I have seen quite a few interesting specimens of male desert lions with very long manes. This guy's, as in, yeah, doesn't have too much of an impressive mane. I've seen some desert lions with very long manes. So obviously, one of the differences between your desert lions and your bush lions. So obviously in southern Africa, very thick bush, lots of acacia, lots of nasty thorns. It definitely does keep male lions' manes well trimmed. Whereas out in the desert, there's not too much they can get tangled in. So I do find some very beautiful specimen male lions with very long manes. Here's our grey heron. Beautiful reflection of him there in the water. Not too sure he's going to be lucky with much of a kill in this small pan. Check at these marabous sunning themselves. Our giraffe friend is still a bit too skeptical to come down for a drink. Where is he gone? Still standing under the shade of the tree. That must be his comfort zone for now. I'm going to stand right here until those lions move, although I don't think they're going to move anytime soon. Sounds like a sparrow of some sort. So we got a question earlier about birds and what birds we can expect to see over in Namibia. So yeah, pretty cool birds that we can get to see in Namibia and should definitely keep an eye out for is your corons. It's a very cool corons, Rupel's coron. It'd be cool to see one of the largest vultures in Namibia, which is the lappet-faced vulture. And obviously within your wetland regions, the water birds you could kind of expect to see would be your greater and your lesser flamingo. So nice to be able to see those two bird species within one area. And these birds do flock to the Etosha pans and other water kind of temporary water sources within the area and quite creates quite a spectacle of all these hundreds of flamingos flying in. I'll say I am quite a sucker for a pretty pink bird. Yeah, pretty cool. Um, yeah, other cool birds you could find as other water birds would be the pelicans, kind of nestled in there with those flamingos. Corey busted within these open regions and open areas. Birds of prey, you could look out for martial eagles, your goshawks, your auger buzzards, your smaller birds. I know, Spassi and Cobb, you'll be dying to know what larks occur within Namibia. So your dune larks is Namibia's only true endemic bird, which is found exclusively in the sand dunes of Namibia, which I'm not jealous of those poor larks. Those sand dunes get rather warm. You also get the Damara red-billed hornbill, which would be pretty cool to see. I saw my first one in April this year. You do also get the rock jumpers, which is typically seen in rocky hillside and mountainous areas, partially in central Namibia. So, yeah, just a few little very interesting birds that you can find within the region. Your migratory birds, European bee eaters, we did hear them flying over above us just now, which I think we'll have a quiet moment, see if we can hear them again. And of course, you'll also get your barn swallows, which are commonly seen across Namibia during the migratory season, partially around water sources and open fields. So while we're talking about birds, why don't we just have a lovely quiet moment on this Sunday siesta day to just take in the sounds of the birds, see if we can hear those European bee eaters again, maybe a lark or two. Um, yeah, let's see what birds we can hear. Awesome. Lovely just to sit quietly and watch these lions. I love how they're so comfortable with one another. You can see the other one's got its paws on its belly, on its back, belly up, its paws just lying all over the place. So, yeah, when hunting for lions or searching for lions, we've got the white-browed sparrow weaver calling there. So, yeah, on a few every safari you go on, when looking out for lions, the thing I always tell the guests to look out for is that whited belly. So you can see right now, you can see that white belly kind of shining up. So often the kind of top side of lions, or their backs and shoulders and legs, they often blend in very well to the environment. But that belly of theirs is very white, very white. It always sticks out when they're lying under a tree. So always a good thing to look out for. So Justice, thank you for your question, is asking about would lions go into the water to chase these prey species? So, yes, lions have been known to go into water to possibly feed on carcasses or animals that might be trapped or stuck in the water. Wild dogs are also very well known for using water as an ambush kind of method to chase kudu or waterbuck into a water source. It kind of helps them to surround the animal and throw an element of surprise in that they might be able to make an easier kill. But I doubt these lions are going to be making much of a move to kill anything within this pan here. And yeah, the giraffe, I think what he'll do is he might hang around for some time wait to see that these lions are not posing much of a threat and then go and drink at the other side at the watering hole. So we just got some information from our Zoomy here at Nguma. Mr. Bundu is telling us that yesterday they did receive some rainfall, which is quite hard to believe because it looks rather dry, I must say. But I know a lot of Africa is experiencing some scattered showers at the moment. So great to hear that they have experienced some rainfall over in Etosha. Yeah. And then Jackie74 is asking about what kind of animals are not in Etosha, or are there ever animals just like the other parks? So yeah, a lot of the animals you get in Etosha, you would find in southern Africa. Obviously, you do get your big five forest, your desert elephants, obviously lions, leopards, buffalo, rhino. What is quite unique to Etosha and Namibia, though, are obviously the gemsbok, the perfect dry desert regions that they do occur in the gemsbok. You do get your gemsbok or oryx, springbok, obviously very common in Etosha as well. You do get your hippopotamus within some areas where there are still some water. Cheetah does occur in Namibia. So Namibia does have one of the largest population of cheetah in the world. So perfect hunting ground and habitat for cheetah. You do get your giraffe, your Hartmann's mountain zebra. And what's also pretty cool about Namibia is you do get quite a high population of brown hyena. So yeah, very good place to go to visit if you want to see those brown hyena. And of course, you do get your black rhino in Etosha as well. Cool, folks. Well, our lions are not moving, so we'll keep an eye on them. But why don't we link across to Founders Lodge and see what's coming down to the watering hole to have a drink? We have some white rhino that have come to join us this afternoon at Founders Lodge over in the Eastern Cape. We're getting one of the rhino's best side and the other rhino's not so great side, but he decided that's where he wants to take a nap. As you can see, obviously these rhinos do have tracking collars on them, and this does help for their safety and protection in order for them to be monitored and tracked on a daily basis. Obviously, rhinos are very much an endangered species and do need to be very closely monitored within the very limited parks and regions that they do occur in. These are the white rhino, although right now they look pretty red to me. The soil type here in the Eastern Cape, you do have these very deep, rich red soils filled with yeah, lots of nutrients and nitrates, kind of changing the color of these rhinos when they go down for a lovely water bath or mud bath. I do love rolling in the mud, rhinos, especially in this hot weather. What a lovely view. We have got two of the big five today, or three of the big five today. How epic is that? We've had elephants, we have had rhinos, and we have had lions. So what an awesome day. You can see the very distinctive square lip there of the white rhino, unlike with the black rhino. You have that really square shaped upper lip, so adapted for grazing on grass. So obviously Eastern Cape is very flat open grasslands, which is kind of the main habitat preference of these white rhino, and it's one of the main features of the white rhino and how it got its name. So square-lipped rhino, white rhino. Size of one of these rhinos, they can vary anything between 1,800 to 2,700 kilograms, or anything between 4,000 to 6,000 pounds. a big male just like these two. So these are probably two males hanging out together, which is common behavior for these rhinos. You have males in small groups. So white rhinos generally will have very social creatures, more social than black rhinos, and they can live in big groups. And you can have females with their youngsters, and these will be called creches. So creche of rhino. Do have very good sense of hearing and smell, but unfortunately, rhinos don't have the best eyesight. So, not great, greatest eyesight for seeing things. So that's why they can be. Oh, let's listen to this rhino as he has a great mud wallow. Why don't we? See if we can hear the splashing. Cool. It looks like we've got quite a bit of activity here. Our rhino had an awesome mud bath. I must say, I was pretty jealous. It looks pretty cool in that mud there. Has gone off for a bit of a rub on the tree. Some zebra coming to join us as well. They just briefly walked past the screen. A springbok and now a warthog. Looks like he's got the same thing in mind. And I think he wants to come down and also get nice and wet, muddy, roll around in the mud, have a great time, exfoliate that skin, have a lovely Sunday spa day. And there's no better place than this lovely little muddy patch. What a cool view. It's got a rhino in the corner, giving himself a lovely scratch on a tree, and hopefully this warthog's going to have a mud bath. A zebra also coming down for a drink. Oh, zebra are one of my favorite animals, I must say. So, Danny, thank you for the question about have I seen any predators here before in the Eastern Cape? So, no, I haven't seen any predators on this particular camera, although they do have lions in the Eastern Cape, leopard, cheetah, obviously your spotted hyena, and then your smaller predators like jackal or caracal. It would be a perfect place for your jackal or caracal to come down for a drink. Caracal, obviously, the more medium-sized predator, very secretive little cats, which is also native to this area in the Eastern Cape. They do like very open grasslands areas, perfect for them for their hunting techniques. And they are mostly nocturnal predators and prey on small mammals, birds, and occasionally young antelope. Zebra pretty much will just have to worry about the lions in the area, but I'm yet to see any predators on this African, which will be pretty cool to see a caracal coming down for a drink. I must say they are one of those very elusive kind of predators that just really intrigue me. They're kind of like an African version of a mountain lion, obviously a lot smaller and occurring within Africa, different kind of habitats, home ranges, and continents. But yeah, it would be very cool to see a caracal. I could see this being a perfect caracal spot to come down for a drink. So, Rosie Adams, thank you for your question about if predators are aware of impending seasonal prey births. Yes, so obviously predators are very much reliant on the baby boom, which is the period of time in over December, January, when a lot of animals are giving birth. Oh, that's when the lions go wild. Lots, all of the predators have a lot of food to feed on. All the baby booms, all the baby wildebeest, babies impala, baby kind of hartebeest, all these bigger kind of antelope species that are giving birth do provide a lot of food for the bigger predators. So, yeah, very important time of the year. Obviously, jackal do also prey on a lot of the baby animals being born, and especially those first few, like impala, that drop can even be fed on baboons, unfortunately. Yeah, I've seen baboons killing baby impalas. Not the best sight, but they are omnivores, and after a long dry season, baboons do have a lot of kind of very demanding diet in that they do need to consume a lot of protein. So, yeah, after a long dry season with not much food, a baboon will definitely take down a little baby impala. I think the zebra are watching our rhino having a mud bath. So zebra generally won't mud bath as much as, for example, rhino or our warthog friends over there, but zebra do like to dust bath quite a lot. Can be a means of cooling themselves down on a hot day, but also can be a very good anti-parasitic kind of behavior to get off all those nasty parasites. Looks like we have a barn swallow that's just flown in here for a drink, which again is a very good indicator of a rain. We call them in some cultures, some African cultures in southern Africa, they do refer to these barn swallows. I know in Zimbabwe and South Africa, they do refer to these barn swallows as the rain birds because they indicate coming of the rain. A little bit of interaction going on there between these two zebras. So you can see that obviously The stallion is far to the right, and we've got some females, so that will be his harem of females. Anything between 2 to 4 females will be in one harem. And our rhino friend is still giving himself a great old scratch. So yeah, general habit is when with these bigger mammal species, after having a good old mud wallow, they'll find themselves moving across to the closest tree, stump, rock, or even in some cases termite mound to give themselves a lovely scratch. Rub a dub dub. Get off all of those parasites, exfoliate their skin, and of course give themselves a lovely scratch. Unlike us that have hands and are more like dexterous, that can kind of use our hands to itch and scratch ourselves, these poor bigger animals, mammals, don't have that luxury, so they have to use what they can to kind of get those itches all over the place. So these rhinos are a very important part of the ecosystem. They do play quite an important role as a large grazer. So these white rhinos do help shape African grasslands, promoting biodiversity by keeping grass short and of course facilitating the growth of a variety of different plant and grass species. So yes, really awesome and interesting to learn about these animal species that all play such an important role in the ecosystem, even down to the most smallest of creatures. So from the elephant all the way down to the smallest fly, cricket, or insect, and everything in between is all a very important part of the ecosystem. So obviously these white rhinos, yeah, quite a cool success story. So most of the population of white rhinos in Southern Africa have been very well recuperated. So black rhinos are still on the decline. So yeah, the population still need to increase quite a bit. Alrighty, folks, why don't we head across to Juma, see if our baby elephants are still around, or what else has come down to Gowrie Dam. Oh dear, welcome back to Gowrie Dam, everyone, on Juma Private Game Reserve in the Sabi Sands. We had awesome sighting earlier of some elephants with their babies, and seems like baby animals are the flavor of the day. Got some baby baboons here. So look like you're having a good old feed. I know a couple of weeks ago Juma was experiencing quite a lot of rain, which has kind of given a boom to all the grass. All the grass is kind of having a flush of greenery. Lovely to see a little bit of green grass over in Juma. And this looks like what the baboons are feeding on. As we were talking about baboons, omnivores, and definitely thriving in this kind of ecosystem. Little babies. Baboons are always a really good lifesaver while on safari. I have had many safaris when having a bit of a quiet morning, quiet afternoon on a game drive, not too much happening. Find a troop of baboons and you can sit and watch them for hours until something happens. So rather entertaining baboons. Always keep you on your toes, fill you with lots of laughter. Yeah, Egyptian geese are still calling there in the background. So baboons are quite water dependent, so they will come down to a water source periodically throughout the day, and they do need to feed at least three to kind of come down for a drink at least 3 to 4 times a day. So yeah, any male baboon that's looking for a perfect new home range would need to make sure that there's a substantial water source within his home range as well as a good food supply. So you'll get these male baboons or the scouts that will go out. Whoop! Something just gave them a fright. That'll go out exploring new areas in order to look for new home ranges or kind of new areas to move in. Oh, what have we got there? So, Damien, thank you for your comment there on baboons. I do also love how baboons have a lot of the similar mannerisms as us humans. It is quite entertaining to watch them. Definitely brings a lot of humor. Chimpanzees and gorillas also very similar in the way that they interact with one another. A lot more intelligent than baboons, obviously. We share about 90 to 99% of our DNA with some different primate species like baboons and chimpanzees. So, yeah, very similar to us. Oh, look at this little baby suckling. Very intently trying to suckle while its mother's feeding, which is probably not the easiest thing to do. So yeah, these baboons will, it's midday, so obviously they're seeking some shade as well. They'll keep feeding and roaming around in areas like this close to water, and then yeah, head out to kind of feed in more abundantly food-rich areas, and then generally come back to their roosting trees late afternoon between 4 and 5 o'clock. That's when they kind of start settling down for the day. Young baboons get a little bit of the mischief out that they can before the night comes, and then they'll generally roost up in very tall, big trees, favoring often jackalberries, nice big fig trees, big acacias, some albida trees, nice big trees for them to roost at night, away from leopards and other predators. So I know it is a lot of people do believe that a baboon is one of the leopard's main prey species. I think leopards do much prefer to feed on impala or yeah, bushbuck, smaller antelope species is their preferred prey type. Baboons, they do, although they do feed on baboons quite often, but it's not necessarily one of their preferred prey species. Quite nasty things, baboons. They stink quite a bit and not the most ideal meat, but they can be easier prey for a leopard, although they do need to be very careful of those nasty fangs that the baboons have, can inflict quite a lot of damage, are very dangerous, like cheetah, for example. These baboons can very easily chase a cheetah off of their kill, steal a kill away from a cheetah, and a cheetah is not going to take a chance of being bitten by a very ferocious baboon. We did have, on a few occasions on Mabula, we did have a few instances when, yeah, the female baboons chased the cheetahs off of their kill. It's quite cool to actually watch it in action. You hear about these things, it's quite cool to actually see it happening. I must say, I wouldn't take on a male baboon. I recently had a very close encounter with a baboon at a lodge. A big male baboon decided to come and join us for afternoon tea, and I tried to chase him away, but of course, not that afraid of women, not more afraid of men, and this baboon faced me off straight. And between us was a giant platter of cake for afternoon tea, and this baboon was not going anywhere. So he proceeded to run towards me as we both ran towards each other, and he stuffed his mouth with about 4 or 5 slices of cake, grabbed one or two from the road before eventually one of the bartenders came and helped me chase him away. So Please be careful of these baboons when on safari. They can be quite ferocious and, yeah, love to join on the buffets and lodges. Can be quite a nuisance. It's lovely just watching them roam around and feed. So they will feed on grass as well. Yeah, so obviously we'd mentioned they're omnivores, baboons. They do feed on grass. They do dig up roots, rhizomes. Lots of fruit is in their diet as well. They will feed on bark from time to time in hard times. Rosie Adams, thank you so much for joining us today. Big thanks from the team. We really appreciate having you on with us live at the Waterhole today. I hope you get some good rest in, and I hope to see you tomorrow live at the Waterhole again. Thank you, Rosie, for joining us. It has been quite an entertaining day here live at the Waterhole. Lots happening at all of our different locations. This little baby baboon is clinging on for dear life. Alrighty, folks. Well, while we're on that note, it's been an absolute pleasure being with you today, live at the Waterhole. Great to start and spend so much time with those lions over in Namibia, in Ngoma. Yeah, lots of activity at all of our locations. So, just want to say a big thank you to all of our viewers, everyone that's taken time out of their Sundays to come and watch live at the Waterhole with us. Don't forget the Sunset Safari will be following shortly. Lots of lion activity, leopard activity. Maybe if you're lucky, you get to see Shalamba and some lions on a leopard on a kill. I hope you enjoy the rest of your Sunday from me and the rest of the Wild Earth crew. I hope you have a fabulous day.